What is
Hi.
up?
What's going
Heidi?
on?
Nothing. What is
You know,
going
I,
on?
I always love seeing a Canadian on an American shirt.
That's I gotta represent Mike, and I already did. I already wore this shirt once already, but
Uh,
he's
Mike,
a good guy.
Mike
Great guy.
is a great guy.
Yeah.
He came over and hung out, and he threw a shirt at me at the last Expo we were just
I was gonna
at
say,
last weekend.
how did that show go? I mean, obviously it wasn't as big as the one that we were at, but
I had a good time spending time with my wife. We made costs, but we definitely did not. We did not. We won in meeting people. I did not win in making money.
right. Well, that's a good thing though for networking. You know, obviously as well. You know, what was it? The same exact vendors there, or was it different
No,
vendors there too?
it was a mix of different vendors. It was
Okay.
a lot of there's a lot of people that haven't done a lot of them, but there was a lot of the big ones still there. Mike was there.
Mhm.
There's a lot of big ones still there. There
Right.
was just Canadian Regis was there. Blackheart Exotics. They had some of the ones that Chris interviewed at the CRBE.
Right.
It was a good show. It just not as big.
I would say it doesn't pull in a drawer. I guess maybe just was it plants too, or was it just
Reptile plants. That was it. So it was it was a lot of greenery. Now they've realized if you sell reptiles, you should sell plants because they kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah, I get it. So that's pretty cool. So
I got a new ball python.
of course you did.
I got a Mario.
Yeah, I got a Mario. Look at
Got a
me.
Mario.
Whatever you do when you post it, please don't put like Mario Brothers on it or anything like that. I've seen many posts like that already. So did you do it already?
Well,
All right.
Mario Brothers. It's like a Wookiee wearing a Mario Brothers hat and the big snake.
That's right. I did see it. Yeah. You did. You did AI. You did AI. You went above and beyond. Yeah.
Come on,
Mario. It's right. Yeah.
You got to do it, right? It was fun. I find life is way too serious. So you got to make it fun. Otherwise, it's just way too much to handle.
Oh yeah. I get it. I hear you.
You saw my Instagram post today. Like, come on.
Oh
I
my
am
God.
definitely not the most serious person in the world.
So I laughed. I was laughing, and my wife wanted to know what the hell I was laughing at. I'm like, just some dummy. she looked. She's like, Gerald. I'm like, yeah. She's like, what? She would have been happier if you had feeties. You know, it looked like feety pajamas, but yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Yeah. So, but
I wasn't wearing them outside though, because anyways.
So it was pretty funny.
We try to have fun, make lighthearted because life is pretty serious. Like you obviously heard about Dingo and what his family went through,
which is pretty rough, man. I mean, there's always chances, and unfortunately, it's sad. I've seen a bunch of posts and everything, and then wishes to his family and stuff like that. It's nice.
That's it. Our best wishes, absolutely, to his family and his kids. He's left behind a wife and 3 kids, I believe it is, and it's a chance they take by playing with HOTS, but it's super unfortunate because he was a really positive person in the reptile community, and I just best wishes to all of them, and I hope they can find their way through it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's why I'm saying it. I try to make it lighthearted because we're here for a short time. Might as well have a great time doing it. And
never know.
Shout out to my buddy from Lucky Snakes. He gave me a shirt at the expo. It says, "I'm a reptaholic on the road to recovery," and it says, "No, just kidding. I'm on the way to a reptile expo." We gotta have fun. Sorry, I missed you guys last week though. I was watching from the truck.
You were busy. You're busy. It is what it is. You were driving home while we were on. I mean,
everybody's busy. Like everybody's got jobs and life and kids and work, and so it's always great to try to find some fun time to do this, all this fun stuff.
Right. What how long is a drive for you to there?
Direct if I didn't stop and no pee breaks for me or the wife, 3.5 hours.
3.5 hours.
Yeah.
Which is not awful. Not awful. Straight run.
Straight run. You guys drove it. What did it take you guys? 8?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm thinking. Yeah. Well, it took us to there. I mean, Chris is a trooper. I mean, didn't take a pee break at all. He got out of the car to stand up and stretch, but he didn't even go to the bathroom. It was amazing. Yeah. It was Kevin. It was Kevin's 60-year-old bladder. That's not true either. But yeah. We stopped a few times. That was it. But about eight and change. I think that about right. Yeah. We all took turns. Chris drove first.
I think next time you guys said you're going to fly down and say.
I would assume that would be the easier thing to do, is obviously just fly in and just be right there, right? It's the show is right next to the airport, right?
Yes. Chris was saying your lightning jump.
Hey, right? I got this big moon thing staring at me right now.
Let's give everybody in the chat some love if we can do that. I always forget.
Yeah, do some validation.
Brian and Holly, Sky High Morphs, thank you very much for coming out.
Look at him. There
Kevin,
he is.
That's a good-looking man. I can't believe you picked on a 6-year-old bladder, though. Rich,
what's going on, Rich?
JS Serpents, what's going on?
There he is.
Holy.
Shed testing.
And now I'm confused when I don't see Gray Rider Reptiles, but
like I said, I just spoke to him about that too, because
it's good though. Like now he's actually full out promoting his business. I like it.
Yeah.
Tag Pythons, what's going on? 319 Reptiles, what's going on?
What is up? Thank you for joining.
He's been posting a lot lately. I like it. Size doesn't matter. I'm told.
Nikki.
There's this called Nikki. What's going on?
Thank you for joining.
James Perry. Jane S. David.
What's going on, David? And
Crystal
the better
doesn't count. She kind of always has to be
the lamer.
But no, we got some fun people on tonight. I'm glad to have them on, Jack and Heidi. I love the fact that they're coming on. I do feel like they don't want to be here, but they're doing.
Yeah. We're gonna have to bring them out.
we're doing their best because, I admit, I'm persistent and I bug people. I think until they say yes. But no, they're wonderful people, and I'm just super excited to have them on. And I guess we might as well get them on.
Bring them on. Absolutely. Sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Snakes in the Batman proudly brings to you its new breeder segment, 15 Minutes of Lame.
What's going on, guys?
Welcome.
So how long have you officially been doing this?
Since 2012.
And what made you crazy enough to say, hey, you know what? I want to breed reptiles.
No. Well, I mean, I guess I made it crazy enough because he wanted to already, kind of.
I had pets.
Yeah, he had pets. And
yeah, stop talking shit, Charlie.
He wasn't allowed.
I'll take it off.
He wasn't allowed to have them in the house with his ex. And so when we got together, I was like, yeah, I don't care. You can have snakes. And so then it just turned into a full-on breeding.
Free reign. He's like, give me.
Yeah.
So now when somebody says, well, my girlfriend or boyfriend won't let me have snakes, my response now is, yeah, my ex wouldn't either. And then I always get a dirty look from whoever,
So that's your tip. If your current one won't get rid of the current one, your new one will.
I mean, it's very likely. I mean,
That's awesome. So what is it you guys breed at the beginning? What do you breed now? Has it changed?
Actual breeding wise we've always done ball pythons,
Okay.
but when we first started, our first like big purchase was a lot of 20 Brazilian rainbows.
Babies.
Oh wow.
And we grew
On
those
king
up.
snake.
Yeah, king snake back that long ago.
Yeah.
And we grew those up for like 3 years and ended up selling them before I even bred them.
Yeah. Because we got into the ball pythons more.
Okay.
I've also bred lychee geckos. I did that
Nice,
for a few years.
How'd that go?
I mean, it was fine. It's just too much work for me. Like
Do you still-
taking care of the babies, and neither one of us like selling animals. Like we're not good at that part, the marketing part and the selling and talking to people. Like it's just
Not so much.
no. That's why we have animals.
I grew coral. I had saltwater aquariums for
Yeah, we've done a lot of.
close to 20 years.
Mhm. You
Shark.
don't have any left? You don't have any saltwater? tanks left?
Not right now.
No, a couple of years back during the Snowmageddon thing down here in Texas,
Uh-huh.
we lost power for 3 days,
Yeah.
and saltwater doesn't do well at 30 degrees. So
Yeah, we had no way to heat the tank, and so
Oh, wow.
it
So
killed everything.
I lost 15 years worth of growth on SPS corals.
Wow.
So
Wow.
roughly $50,000 worth of mature adult colony size stuff,
Uh-huh.
plus our sharks that we had been growing up to breed, and
Achilles tang.
yeah, some high end fish and stuff.
And you think about it too. I get that. Like I remember watching that and everything. And you obviously a generator and this that. I mean, at the time, would you think that you need a generator for something like that to happen?
At that
no.
time, no, because
Right.
I mean, in 30s, 40 years of life at that point, that was like the worst
Right.
Like it's never been
winter
like that.
that we've had. So
That's
It just
crazy.
doesn't get that cold here. I mean, it
No.
gets cold enough to freeze, but it doesn't get that cold here.
well, for
Right.
that long a period
Yeah.
of time.
It was just it was just a bad time.
Like
We
what-
didn't lose any snakes. Like
No.
all the snakes were fine,
Mhm.
but the aquarium was not.
no.
Not even close.
Did that make you do change your outlook and everything like that as well now? A generator now just in case or stuff like that? Or
Well, we ended up just letting the aquariums do their thing until all the fish died out. And then a friend of ours in San Antonio ended up setting up an aquarium, and she came up and got everything that had survived
okay.
and took it down to, and just we let her set it up in her
We d-
aquarium. So
So this is not where we plan to live forever. And when we build a place, we're just gonna build an aquarium in.
You're gonna live
A
in a
big
barn.
one.
like a 10 foot by probably 4 foot by 3 foot.
Okay.
Yeah, like a big built-in aquarium.
So what you're saying is you still really love aquariums and
Yeah.
all
Oh, yeah.
that stuff.
Yeah,
And this was a big
wanna-
kick to the
Yeah,
got-
really. He was depressed about it for months. Every time he would look at the aquarium,
Well,
which
it's
is in our living room.
It's 50. You spend 15 years doing something.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean,
like he was totally.
you buy
depressed about
something.
it.
You buy something that's that the size of your little pinky for 150 or $200. You spend 15 years growing it up, and it looks like something that
Beautiful.
size,
Yeah.
and it's worth multiple thousands of dollars. And you start fragging it, and yeah. So
Charlie's,
Nice.
saying the same thing.
well,
When
you're
he
all,
buys his new house.
yeah. 220 is not bad.
Not in comparison to what you're talking about.
Yeah. Oh,
Because like what you're talking about is somewhere around 2,000 gallons.
Give or take.
Yeah.
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 that's
Yeah.
that's
It'll,
gonna be
it'll be
amazing.
relatively shallow though, because
Yeah.
sharks don't need a lot of depth.
No.
So yeah, 10,
Like-
10 foot wide, 4 to 5 foot front to back, and then only like 3 foot deep.
Because these are reef sharks, so they're sedentary. They sit. They don't.
So
they're not pelagic.
epaulet sharks will be the biggest ones,
Yeah.
and then coral cat sharks and/or marbled cat sharks.
I watched some of the YouTube thing, and that kid that's in Florida, Paul Caro, I think his name is. He just ended up picking up like the zebra shark.
Mhm.
and like I'm obsessed with that thing. I'm like, this thing is pretty friggin' amazing.
So they're actually really fun. Like
He's eating out of his hand and shit.
yeah. You can hand feed them. Yeah. They'll let you pet them. Like
It's pretty
I mean,
wild.
they feel kind of funky.
I do have a question because I'm shark stupid. Is it true that they need to have round corners, or they suggest round corners for sharks?
Only for pelagic sharks.
Yeah.
And
So-
what would the reasoning be for that? Sorry, I'm willing to learn.
They can swim in a circle.
Yeah, so that they can swim without stopping, and corners are a hard stop.
Yeah.
Okay.
They can't stop. Like a pelagic shark can't breathe.
So
if they can't swim.
Charlie's popping off about black tip sharks. They're reef sharks, but they're pelagic. So if they stop moving, they drown.
Okay.
Where a lot of reef sharks, like what I want to keep, the epaulets, the coral cats, bamboo sharks,
They can sit on the ground.
correct.
Yeah,
they'll
they'll like hide and
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
That's
so
cool.
they can pump water through their gills with muscles,
on their own.
where pelagic sharks can't. So they have to swim to move water through their gills.
So the way I heard it was partially right, but they weren't separating the classes. They were just saying general thing. If you want to save it, leave a shark, make it live. It's got to have round corners. They were very generalizing it, as opposed to you are using scientific and saying, okay, here's this one. This one
Well,
needs
it's just the way they act.
It's still
right?
very rough science.
Yeah,
It's still
yeah.
not like, you know,
You've been doing it for a long time, so
this is
we're
like
taking your word for it.
hobby science.
There,
You know?
there actually aren't a ton of sharks that can do that.
Yeah.
There's not
Okay.
there's not a huge number of them that can be sedentary like that.
No.
What
Most of them are pelagic.
because I'm fascinated with it. What's the sizes of like something that's sedentary shark like that sits on?
So bamboo sharks and most of the reef style cat sharks are anywhere from 24 to 36 inches on average.
Okay.
The epaulets are a little bit bigger. They can get closer to the 36 instead of the 24, or a little bit bigger.
Yeah, some of them even only get to like 18 inches. Like
Yeah.
they're little sharks.
Yeah.
Wow, little sharks.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're little itty bitty sharks. They're cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can only take off a finger, not a whole hand.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, they could. They don't though. They're super gentle.
No.
Uh-huh.
They really like interacting with people.
And if you have them as babies and you like work with them,
Yeah.
like they almost become like puppies.
Yeah. They
Like
really do.
they will come up to you
right.
in the tank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to be careful because they can be like puppies. So they come up to you in the tank, and if you can't get your fingers in there and get cut.
You're gonna lose a finger.
I'm
Well,
gonna-
It's not that bad.
They'll just nip
cut
you a little bit.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm going to start looking at you the same way that people always look at us when we say we all own snakes, and people are like, "You guys are crazy. You're going to get bit," and we're like, we don't really get bit. They're all like puppy dogs. You're saying that about something that's bigger with sharper teeth and can take off, fingers.
Now,
But,
as
you know-
far as fish we've had that likes to bite, Nemo,
Oh my gosh. The
Clownfish.
worst. Clownfish are the worst.
Nemo,
They're so mean.
they'll bite the shit out of you.
They-
Every
Come
single time.
They
Every single
go
time.
for the webbing in between your
They
fingers.
will look
and
for
it hurts like
little
hell.
places to bite you.
Oh,
Every single time you go into the tank to
They're
clean
awful.
something, they're gonna bite you.
they're so
I'm
bad.
amazed about that. I never would have thought.
The females, they're mean.
They're very aggressive. They're very territorial.
yes.
And they don't care how big anything is.
No, they aren't scared of shit.
Like a fish this big and my hand coming after them, don't give a
don't
shit.
care at all.
That's
Like,
wild.
she
That's so
will
cool.
bite the crap
Yeah.
out of you all the time. I'm like, I'm trying to clean your tank. Leave me alone. I'm
Oh
like,
my
just
God.
go away and leave me alone. No.
I think I want to buy some clownfish this week.
What's the is it once you get the tank set up and going for, is it easier to maintain?
The bigger it is.
The bigger it is, the easier it is.
And that goes for any kind of aquarium.
But so you can set it up expensive and right, and
Charlie.
and the maintenance is a lot easier. Or you can set it up cheap and on a budget and do a shit ton of maintenance.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. So then I get you. Yeah.
Yeah, like if you set them up right, you like you hardly need to do like the one tank that we had in here for until just recently. We didn't do any maintenance on it. We filled it up with water. That was it. Like we topped it off. We didn't change water. Hadn't changed water in years.
Yeah, I got to the point where I didn't even have to do water changes anymore because it was so mature.
And that's from the coral and everything.
Well, it's just the maturity of the tank. The bacteria was stable.
It's the bacteria and the microbiome. So you have bugs. You have all kinds of bugs and bacteria in there.
Isopods and all kinds of stuff.
And if you have enough of your biome life, it's kind of like what do they call them for your leeches?
Yeah, they're bioactive. Yeah, it's
like a bioactive setup for your reptiles.
Right.
Okay.
Do you buy your?
You know what bothers me with Charlie is that no matter what we could talk about, he's already done it or has been involved in it. You know, it's like
I'm gonna call Charlie when we get ready to build the house and put the tank in, and he can come help.
It's like, I've done that. Oh, yeah, okay.
Because Charlie's like that episode of Seinfeld where Kramer never slept. That's what he does. So he's actually lived 4 lifetimes in his short life.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. You just ask for anything. I love it.
When you set up yours, do you use the box water or to do your initial setup?
We mix our own water.
Okay. No, it's just I've watched both, and I don't know nothing about this, and nobody asked me questions, please. I just have literally watched a couple of them, and you see them opening up these pallets of boxed water, and they're just dumping these things in. You're like,
yeah, because it's pre-salted water.
Yeah, so that's all pre-salted.
Yeah, we just buy the salt and mix our own.
I buy the salt, but we get RO water. Like we use RO water. We don't use tap water.
Right.
RO water?
Yeah, RO. Basically bottled water.
Reverse osmosis.
Okay.
That's
RO water.
That's what bottled water is.
Yeah.
It's like Aquafina and all that crap. That's all RO
just
water.
Giant, the big 18-gallon or whatever they are.
No, there's a like a water store in town. Like basically some place that you would go fill up.
Yeah, you just fill up buckets.
Big buckets of water.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But people use it a lot down here because our water is terrible. Like people use it to drink. Like we use big bottles of water a lot around here.
But you can get RO systems at your home.
Yeah, they're not.
Yeah, we heard you the first time.
Yeah. Auto RODI system. Thanks, Charlie.
So he added a DI, which is deionized resin bed extractor. It just cleans it a little bit more than the RO does.
It doesn't taste as good though.
No, it doesn't taste.
You don't want to drink that water. It doesn't taste very good.
So most of the time, when you go all the way to DI, you should rebuffer the water because it's so acidic, and now because DI water becomes acidic.
Jack's gonna nerd out in a minute.
You should really go and buffer it before you add your salt back to it.
So it holds the salt.
Yeah. Otherwise, if you try to do coral, it'll like eat up all the calcium in the water with DI water.
Okay.
So you have to add stuff back to it.
What you got to do now is start up a show. When you start doing your tank again, start up a show and educate people on how to do this from the ground up.
See?
Yeah, needs to get off because it messes things up.
So
RO water keeps just enough minerals in it.
Yeah.
It just takes everything else out.
See, I find that fascinating. I watch a lot more people like fishing and everything else than with snakes and stuff. I'm like, I just think that's amazing.
Yeah, we probably watch more other things besides snakes.
So all of that stuff wasn't from watching anything. That was from trial and error because there was no watching anything when I started all that.
Right.
Yeah, like 20 years ago.
If you were lucky, you might be able to find a book.
Right.
And if it was a good book, it was a couple $100 at the time, you know?
Wow.
This is back in the day when we used to go to the pet store every weekend because we wanted to see what new fish and snakes and things, because you couldn't just go online and order shit.
Yeah, there wasn't like going on.
So you started salt waters and everything when you guys were together, which is
before.
You started before?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I had them about 7 years before we were together. I had saltwater tanks.
Okay.
You know what?
And I had freshwater off and on like my whole life. My parents had freshwater tanks growing up.
I sold her aquarium before we started dating.
Yeah, I know this story is fascinating in itself. That the way you two what in eighth, ninth grade.
Yeah.
Oh
Eighth
yeah.
grade.
Eighth grade. Like on again, off again, on again. We decided to make it stick this time. So far, it's been all right.
So far, so good. All right.
So far, so good. We're just gonna keep going now.
That's what the guy said when he jumped out the window.
So far, so good.
So what made you get into plants, Heidi?
To the gardening?
Yeah.
Him.
So you're
Jackass.
I completely.
So
that
where
was,
he was watching these gardening YouTube videos out of Australia. What's his name? Self-Sufficient Me. I don't know if we watch all kinds of random shit, but anyway, it's a gardening guy out of Australia, and so he gets bored really easily, and so he just up and decides one day he wants to start building a garden, and I'm like, what the fuck do you know about gardening? Like neither one of our families are like, do this shit.
Well, I'm gonna learn.
Well, he just wanted something to do.
That's not it either. For how many?
I said, I am not doing this.
No. For years and years, she always said that she just liked playing in the dirt.
I like playing in the dirt.
Like she would always just say, I just like playing in the dirt. I just need a pile of dirt. I just need a pile of dirt to play in.
Yeah, I missed my calling. I should have been digging bushes or something.
So I build 17 garden beds.
17 in a year.
And a 40 by 40 orchard, meadow orchard thing.
That was the year later, but still.
Whatever. And we got 30 yards of compost that we had to start hauling around. So,
so we had a big truck.
So we had a big pile of dirt for her to play in. Yeah. So basically, for years, I just heard about her wanting to play in dirt.
No.
So I build all these things, and then I just let her play in the dirt. And I walked away. And I just walked away.
So he started this whole garden project. And a year later, he's like, bye. Like, it's all yours. Have fun.
You know, he's thinking ahead because now you go outside for 3 hours or whatever it is, and he has 3 hours by himself.
I'm doing some working then too.
I get it.
I'm cleaning rats or cleaning snakes or at work.
Well, that's usually the way it is. But we all enable each other. You know, my wife she gets into things and she says, "Oh, I want this," and we give it to her, and then we see how long it lasts, and if it pans out or not. She helped get us into this, and then she walked away because then she started geckos. So I get it. It's always the way it works. We enable each other.
With us, it's like we have to like mention it a few times before we go and do it. Like it has to be
we definitely have to research it. Like we're not like a jump in, do it.
But it has to be a recurring.
If your interest keep is kept, I guess, right? I mean,
because when we get into something, we have no like self-control about it. Like we just are balls deep right away, and so like we know our tendencies are just to throw everything at it, all of our time, all of our money, all of our energy.
Like I have a significant amount of fishing gear. Significant amount.
I'm going to ask: is it over $25,000?
Significant amount.
Let's not put a price on this. All right.
There's probably a whole room full.
And I also do some shooting. So I have a few firearms.
Yeah.
You know,
I know the price of those, so we won't mention those online.
Do you still go fishing? Is it easy for you guys?
Not as much as we used to because I sold the boat because we didn't have enough time.
Oh my gosh, we sold the boat in March, right? Like 2 weeks before lockdown.
Oh wow!
How unlucky is that? We were like son of a biscuit.
Wow.
Yeah, 2 weeks before lockdown. Like we would have been on the lake every day.
But now, like we have a couple of places we go to that's just out in the woods, out in the country, and just relax and for a few hours or whatever.
Okay,
that's good. you want to mention the project? Because I know you did more research on it than I did.
What for Shadow? We were going to talk about the Shadow project that you've been into and everything, and how's that going as well. I mean, listen. I looked on your morph market. Obviously, there's nothing on your morph market, right?
Oh, not right now. Yeah.
Right. So
I need to take new pictures and like we just started hatching babies like in the last 6 weeks.
Okay.
So like in general, like our whole season didn't start until like 6 or 8 weeks ago.
Okay. So all right.
Yeah. So we're real late.
The Fat Man just wanted to mention for the record, Jack and Heidi are the two people responsible for helping JT, Chase, and I by setting up the auctions at Tinley to help us. I just want to publicly thank him and say that he loves you both.
We love you too.
Oh, very nice.
It's weird when Chris is all like nice and not crusty.
But I love Chris.
Right?
Nice to us.
He's always been nice to us.
He always is, but like when you see him on the chats, he looks like a crusty, but like he's really not that like that.
Charlie Gay. So how far are you? I mean, you work. I mean, it's been how long has Shadow been out now?
So the original animal we got in 2012.
Okay.
First pairing, first babies were in 2013, and it was like a month later after that clutch hatch that somebody else actually saw one of the animals and lost their shit. That we were like, oh, maybe there's something weird going on here.
Yeah, I mean, it was just funky.
And like, so we didn't do a whole lot with it because we didn't know what it was. Just do like one clutch a year, one every other year, just a little bit here and there. We started releasing them last year, I think. And then before was it, Dallas or?
No, right before Tinley.
That Charlie started doing the testing.
Oh no, it was before.
So
Dallas.
Charlie started doing testing is before Dallas, trying to help us figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
So originally, because of the information from the importer, no, I did not talk to Kevin today.
No, I haven't talked to Kevin.
From the importer, we thought that it was an allelic gene with chocolate.
Right, I heard you say that on that episode with Chris.
Right.
Yeah.
And all that and all that information, we were just working on what the guy that brought it in, what little bit he knew about it, and then he got out of breeding snakes like a few years later.
Okay.
So we didn't have any help there, and this is when we first started. So we're like,
oh yeah, we were like babies.
Yeah, brand new babies with something weird. We don't don't really know what we were doing. So
at least we had enough sense not to put it in everything,
right?
Because we had no idea.
And space wise,
Yeah.
if you don't have a bunch of space to work it or know what you're doing with it, it's better to start slow.
Because you can't sell any of it, right? Like originally, or we didn't want to sell
any. Thank God that you actually caught. I mean, you caught on and somebody think because you could have just been like that. And then,
oh no, I mean the original animal that hatched out that made us be like, okay, this is weird. It was very different. It was not.
It was actually JT that pointed out. He's like, "There's something going on there. Like that's not normal." Yeah. So, but anyway, so Charlie started testing some sheds for us, and now it looks like there's 2 genes because we're testing positive for chocolate in a lot of the animals, but the combos don't match up to just chocolate combos. So we're thinking now that it's chocolate and shadow are 2 genes instead of just 1.
We think it's possible the very original male that we got as a possible super chocolate was a super chocolate, but it was super chocolate plus shadow. And so when all the babies
have another gene in it, huh?
Right,
yeah,
right,
which is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
How the original guy explained it to us was he got this weird dark animal in, and he thought it might be something like chocolate, so he was trying to make camo balls back in 2011, when they were really popular or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, he was trying to make supers, and he said none of these aren't supers. They're not right. This isn't what it's supposed to be.
So he got rid of
So
all
he
of it.
started dumping everything, and he's like, "Well, this
Like
is
he just started wholesaling all of them.
And we bought it as a possible super
Chocolate.
weird chocolate thing.
Okay.
Is literally how we bought it.
We'll take
So,
it.
so we
Yeah.
so we think it actually was a super chocolate, but it had this other gene on it. So
Right.
so what happened when we hatched them out is we hatched out chocolates, and then we hatched out chocolate plus this other thing.
Yeah.
And so we thought the chocolate plus this other thing was one gene.
Because
We
of
thought
the way the importer had explained it to us. That's the information we were working with.
Right.
But now working with Charlie, we're like, okay,
Oh.
now we're like, okay, so that was a super chocolate plus a third gene. So chocolate and shadow are actually separate genes.
Okay.
Which also means they're not allelic. But
Correct.
now we have to kind of start over a little bit and figure out, okay,
Yeah.
so what does it look like without chocolate?
Well, so you're gonna somehow get a single gene
Yeah.
shadow.
Yeah.
And that may be what Charlie's talking about, me talking to Kevin about, because with Kevin and Whitney from A Exotics, we did a, what do you call it? We did a pairing together.
Yeah, we did it.
Joint pairing or anything.
Joint
Yeah.
pairing with one of the shadow things and a stranger just to see what happened. Yeah.
Nice.
So apparently it looks like we may have a couple that have split out without chocolate now.
That we think are shadow.
Since our tester is making comments.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's giving you little tidbits, right? I got you. Yeah.
Although he's not really keeping it quiet on the down low. We're all learning at the same time as the owners. So.
That's fine.
That's fun.
I mean,
It's all good.
we are trying to be uber transparent about it because
Like we're not trying to hide anything.
There's no reason not to. So
Like as we find out information, we let
tell
people know
everybody.
that that's interested or that has animals already.
yeah, because we do have a couple of people that have invested.
Yeah,
in.
and the people that bought them, that got stuff before we had the testing done, we gave them the option. If they wanted to keep them with the information that we had previously, compared to the information we have currently.
Okay.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, like we were like, it turns out this is not what it was. Like it
Right.
it wasn't liquid chocolate, and so if that's what you were looking for, and
Sorry.
that's not what it is. Yeah,
Right.
so we're happy to do whatever to make it right. But.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think you are doing anything wrong. You may
No,
have
no,
given
no,
them
no.
no.
We weren't, but
Here's
We-
a bonus
yeah.
gene that you
Yeah.
might have.
Like
Yeah.
we were being completely honest and upfront
Yeah.
with the information that we had at the time.
Yeah.
With the new
Absolutely.
information, it does change a little bit. So,
Right.
and everybody kept them except for one person. He just said he didn't have the space, space-wise restrictions, and it was no problem.
to work it out, like
Yeah.
because now
matter what.
those people are going to have to work the chocolate out of it.
Yeah, well, and no matter what, it's obviously a project that is going to take up a lot of space,
Right,
especially when you're just working it out.
right.
Yeah.
Right. I would assume more than anything. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a space issue, it was no hard feelings.
Yeah.
We just, we squared everything back up and
Yeah.
Everything's good. So
I like honest people. There's not enough of them out there, so it's good to have a few.
it's too hard to keep track of lies.
Oh, it does bite you in the ass eventually.
It's so much easier just to tell the truth.
So
It'd be all over
I
people.
learned that the hard way. I mean, from my past of being an addict to now, I used to lie all the time. Awful.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then when you tell somebody something and they're like, wait a minute, you're like, fuck.
That's not what it was yesterday.
Shit. Yeah.
You almost need a diary to tell you what lie did I tell on this date.
So
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. So I want to say let's go back to Morph Market real quick though, because I know that do you think as the auctions and everything like that, you think that's good for the hobby or anything like that?
I don't know. Like I haven't even ever been on an auction.
Okay, so
Like, I've never posted one or bought one that way.
at the end of
So-
the day, the market goes up and down. This is the third downswing
Mhm.
that we've been through in the time that we've been breeding.
You more of a show people than Morph Market as well? How many shows?
Yeah, like I would put. Well,
She will.
I don't like doing all of that, and he doesn't want to do it either.
I'm not a computer person.
Okay.
Like,
we would totally hire someone else to do all of that stuff for us.
Ask Charlie. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
well, he's a little too far away.
Yeah,
that's true,
hiring like someone else to come in and take the pictures and make
Right.
the posts. Like I would totally pay somebody for their day to come do that stuff.
Yeah,
I think
like I work with my hands. You know, so I'm not a technology person.
And that's what I do all day for work. And so I sure as shit don't want to do it after work. Like I don't even pick up my phone after I get done at the end of the day. Like literally, I don't even look at it.
So what I think you guys just created is a job description out there for somebody.
Yeah.
If somebody wants to, they can be a traveling person in the reptile community, take
Dude.
pictures,
It
post
would make
them.
so much money.
All the people that have tried to talk me into doing Husbandry Pro or Clutch or any of these other things,
That's the first thing I say.
I'm saying, okay, I'll sign up. You
Yeah.
come over and
load all of it up.
do all
You're
the computer
going to
stuff.
fit all 600 animals. 600.
No, well, you just answered that
100
question.
animals.
We got about 600 animals.
Yes.
Give or take.
It's
Yeah.
a Husbandry Pro, or like you're taking all the pictures, you're putting all of the information. Like I don't have time for that.
Yeah.
And
So-
he's not going to keep up with it.
On top of that, you both have full-time jobs.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And a garden.
Yeah.
And we breed our own rodents.
You have
Hold on.
600 animals.
We have
So the
600
snakes.
snakes.
I mean, not
Bye, Charlie.
depends on babies.
Take care, Charlie.
Give or take, you got 600.
Yeah.
Give or take.
Even
So-
if you
so-
did
But
500,
it's
that's a
usually
lot.
on an average between 500 and 600.
Are you
Yeah.
guys on Monday through Friday jobs?
Yeah.
So that means Saturday and Sunday is this. That's it.
Well, Friday,
we don't do
Monday
anything.
through Friday after work.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Well, all right. I mean, yeah.
Before work.
I'm thinking. I'm like, oh my god. It's a all
Uh-huh.
right.
Yeah. So like,
So it's a
like-
nonstop.
so like
Pretty much.
every day after work, I'll do something different. Like I'll feed a different group, or I'll clean a small group, or feed. You know.
He has like a system down, which is the other reason he's not going to do switch to Husbandry Pro, because it would totally mess up his like system.
Right.
Like
Like
I'm
we still
old school.
he uses index cards
Like-
and we write on the tubs.
Yeah, I use an
and-
index card. I use dry erase markers on my tubs and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, even the labels on the tubs for the snake genetics are just written on there with a marker.
Right.
Yeah.
You guys
Like
still
not
it's-
even
it's
printed out.
Dry erase tape with dry erase marker on my
Yeah.
tub.
It's awesome.
you guys still do shows and everything?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were just at Tinley a couple weeks ago.
How many shows do you do a year still?
Only 10.
10.
Only 10.
Okay.
So five NARBCs, and then 5 herp shows here in Texas.
Okay. Was there at a point when you were talking? You said 18 shows.
18, almost 20 shows.
Almost-
You were
No.
doing?
We did that for 2 years,
And hell no.
and that's too much.
We have full-time job. Like if you don't have a job, okay, whatever.
Right.
Like then you need to do shows
It was a
every
lot.
weekend or every
It
other
was a
week. It was
lot.
too much for us.
a lot.
Okay.
Like we were over.
So
Paul, how many snakes do you have right now?
Me, I got about 115.
And you're exhausted.
I'm not saying I'm exhausted, but it's. I mean, it's by me only. Like my wife doesn't help me. I mean, she's supportive
don't-
and everything.
I don't.
the snake,
I don't.
I clean and I do everything with the snakes. The
Yeah.
the only thing I ask for help with from her is morph market, and you see how morph market.
You know how that's going, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, I just took a ball down after Tinley.
She,
It wasn't that long ago.
She's the morph market manager, and I do everything else.
I like that. All right.
You know what? That just is a tribute to how much you guys are willing to work. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of animals. That's a lot of rat shit. Wow.
So we've recently I've gotten I'm switching all my rodents over to ASFs.
Seems like everybody's doing that.
So the production with rats in my room, I couldn't barely, like, there wasn't enough space. Like I would barely get 100 up to wean size a week, barely. So we would end up spending almost $4,000 a month total on purchasing rodents, and then all of food
bedding.
food bedding, yada yada yada, to take care of what we were breeding. in 9 months, we've cut that cost down to $1,500-ish.
Okay.
In the same amount of space.
In the same amount of space, breeding ASFs.
Right.
So I need to buy 2 more racks, and I'll probably have that under $800.
So I go buy rats, and I just feel that that'd be just another time consuming thing for me, everything. Which my bill isn't awful when I buy rats, and this guy has about 10,000 rats. Either has mice, rats, he has ASFs, and I was just talking to him, and he switched his bedding to hemp. He says it's unbelievable how much it doesn't smell compared to and that's a week that he still has them on bedding on the hemp and everything compared to that. I don't know if you use hemp or anything as well.
No, so I actually use an ammonia absorber on the bottom.
Okay.
So that helps significant amount, and then I use pelletized equine bedding.
Okay.
And that will, like a 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch layer of the equine bedding pellets will absorb almost 5 gallons of water.
Yeah, it's basically a big old. It's a bagged up diaper.
Correct.
It's for horses. It's for horses. It's meant to absorb the amount of urine that a horse can put out, which can put out a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty fucking wild.
And then on top of that, I do your normal whatever flakes, So, and you can use hemp or aspen or whatever, just your Tractor Supply bag of flakes.
So how often do you change or full change for your rats and stuff like that?
So I do like full on every 3 weeks, and then spot whoever needs it in between.
Okay.
Because like with the ASFs, they're like cats.
They pee in one corner.
They just pee in one corner.
Would that be like the whole? Obviously, however what do you have 1.4 or whatever? They all go in the same.
Yes,
they use it like a litter box.
They all pee in the same corner. So the only ones I get 3 weeks out of are like when you put a new breeding group together, and they haven't made babies yet. So you don't have 30 or 40 or 50 babies running around there making a mess. When it's just that group of like 1.4, 1.5. If they make it 3 weeks, like they're barely dirty because they've all peed in one little bitty corner with the ammonia absorber, with the pellets. Like there's still pellet pieces left because they're and they're savanna rodents. Like they don't drink a lot of water either. So they don't pee a whole lot.
Right.
So you as much as you say you're not like you don't do the social media aspect, you guys look like you do a lot of research on the internet on a lot of different things, because your wealth of knowledge on species like saltwater tanks, your rodents, and you've definitely done your research, dotted your I's, crossed your T's, and said, okay, this works, go with this, we'll try this, we'll mix this. It's like down to a science. Okay, this is 1/4 cup of urine absorbed, 1/2 cup of hemp, 2 tablespoons of baking soda, and we got bedding.
Don't forget the steroids in the water.
And we do not steroids, but
there you go.
But we do put vitamins in the water for the rats.
That's good. Yeah.
So we pump the rats full of everything that we want in the snake.
Oh,
so they get like a multivitamin. They get fed a food that's got probiotics in it.
You do it.
The rats get really well taken care of. So the snakes are really well taken care of.
Yeah. So you do it with the gecko people do is what do they call it? Gut
loading.
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But okay, but like it's been 12, 13 years of doing this.
Right.
So like, a lot of it is trial and error.
Trial and error.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you just like,
I mean, like we used to use
the biggest part about doing anything is doing it. Just do it.
Right.
Like stop worrying about failing, stop worrying about it. Just fucking do it. Get off your ass and do it.
And don't be afraid to get your fingers dirty and in the dirt.
No, I don't wear gloves.
Compost.
I don't wear the gloves. I just grab the shit and go. Wash them later.
That's I always laugh when I see people doing the videos with the black latex gloves.
Mm-hmm.
My hands don't really fit in latex gloves, so first of all, it just doesn't work.
He has fucking baseball mitts for hands. They're
You being a hardcore Texan, I'm sure your hands are not. They're gritty. They're meant to grab stuff, and
they're very calloused. So
right. So I never understood that. Like when I hold my snakes, if I'm gonna get bit, the latex glove isn't gonna help me anyways. So
nope.
I just grab stuff and like you say, I got the Dawn dish soap by the sink, and when I'm done, I give myself a good clean.
Just wash your hands. You mentioned the compost earlier. Did you know that a good hot compost will completely get rid of a 30-pound possum in less than a week? Yeah.
All right, now you know.
The more you know.
that's awesome.
Yeah. 1 week, nothing but a skull. That's all that was left.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild.
That's awesome.
Yeah, them little microbes eat stuff really quick.
Well, I mean, and that's good for compost.
It is.
It's even better now. That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, that's where all the rats go. That's where the snake bedding goes. Like we use Reptiles.
Yeah, when I retire my rats, when the rats retire breeders, they get too old or get tumors, they go on the compost.
Right.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, the only thing we don't put in the compost is rat bedding because there's just too much of it.
I was gonna say too much ammonia and stuff like that.
Well,
there's just too much of the bedding. Like there's just too much volume.
Too much volume. Like I would need more land, and then I would just spread.
Yeah,
it.
you just spread it.
Okay. All right.
So now back to the other questions. You guys were on the Lamest Chat. Sorry, you guys were on 15 Minutes of Lame.
Mm-hmm.
Our question to you about the 15 Minutes of Lame is, do you think it's wonderful for the hobby?
Okay. What do I think? What's wonderful for the hobby?
15 Minutes of Lame? Is that what you mean?
No, 15 Minutes of Lame. The 15 Minutes of Lame with Chris Eaton and the show that you guys were on. Do you think it's good for the hobby?
Sure.
Well, yeah.
I guess.
Why wouldn't it be? Like, are you talking about because introducing new people to the hobby, or
right?
Getting people out there, getting their names out there. Chris gives an opportunity to somebody who's might not be well known or is well known, and just
here it comes, the Canadian internet struck again.
He's frozen for us.
Yeah. But so it's definitely a good tool. I would feel for the newcomers are coming, and especially to get their name out. So that's what we were just asking, if you think it's a good competition for new breeders and for the community.
Yeah,
I think it's a totally a positive thing.
Yeah.
That was it. It just we love Chris. We love the opportunity it gave us, and like we know you guys really didn't need this. You guys were already well known and everything else, but we had fun.
I don't think it that way. Yeah, we don't. I don't consider us well known at all.
I thought you're pretty well known in your area, like.
Like in Texas.
In Texas.
But at the same time, we did 20 shows a year.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard not to know.
Right, everybody in Texas, we've seen everybody in Texas because we've done
Texas.
We've done the show circuit all over Texas for. Oh man, we started doing that in 2015-ish.
Yeah.
So almost 10 years.
Yeah.
So most people in Texas have at least heard of us.
Right.
Seen us at a show.
But I don't consider us like well known by any means.
Especially not out of Texas.
No.
Like maybe in Texas.
And that's mostly just like our group of tech, Yeah,
our group of Texas
people.
People. I mean, that's changed a lot over the years, even.
Right.
Like the people that we used to hang out with and been with, and they're not all here anymore.
Yeah, so. People's coming, people's gone.
Yeah.
We actually had a conversation with Kevin Fink from KDF Because we both started. I think he started like 8 months to a year before us.
Yeah.
Okay.
And somebody asked him like, who was still around from the time you started and that started around the same time that y'all kind of grew up together, you know, like
Doing shows
and breeding, and like he said, well, we're the only ones that they can think of. And we sat there and we're like, that's pretty true. Like since we started, like within a year before or after the time we did, they're one of the few people that are locally that are still around. Like there's people before us, you know, and after, but
what makes you guys keep going then? I mean, I'm not saying that, you know, obviously there has to be passion that you guys
I think the other thing that helps is we have day jobs. So like it's not
so it's
make
like
or break.
Like a stress reliever too, like, you know, get out and do stuff you're talking about.
I don't have to sell my animals
to survive,
to feed myself,
pay my bills.
So I can literally keep everything that I want to keep, until I run out of space.
He literally breeds for himself, and we just kind of limp along selling the rest.
I love that motto or whatever you got, because that's exactly how I feel. Like I'm
like Bluebell. I keep all I can and sell the rest.
I like that.
Yeah.
No, but that's a, you know, because it is such it's a market that goes way up, way down, and it's always forever changing. So the fact that you do have that ability to say, well, I don't care, and I'm going to keep everything I have. I'm going to sit on it and wait till the market's better, and I'm just going to work and feed my animals.
It's not even that. It's just there's no pressure for us to have to sell them until we start running out of space, because the space that we have is all the space we have, and so when we start running out of space, we have to start selling stuff. But there's no pressure on us to sell stuff
that I want to
money.
keep. Yeah, like if you make something that's really cool or really different, and somebody wants it, and you are doing this to put food on your table, you are more likely to sell those animals to put food on your table so that you don't starve and your family doesn't starve.
But that puts you behind in projects.
Correct. Like I remember with JT, like I would ask him, like, why are you even selling this? You don't want to sell it. He's like, but if that's what sells, I need to sell it, because that was his job then. It was way before Reptichip. You know, it was way before the fire, way before Reptichip.
Right.
And that's what he did. He was a snake breeder, and he had to sell things that he didn't want to sell. And he said, well, you should quit working and just do this full time. I'm like, no, I'm going to keep working, because I don't want to. If I don't want to sell it, I'm not going to sell it.
Right.
So. But that's great philosophy, and like you guys are doing very well for yourselves, and you're saving yourself thousands of dollars now that you figured out the right rat, the right bedding, the right everything. So that's that's amazing to see someone, you know, do well in this hobby and not feel the pressure of the economic turmoil that we're in. So that's awesome.
Well, before Kevin from A Exotics talked me into the ASFs, there was a lot more pressure, because $4,000 a month in rodent bill is a lot different than $1,500.
do you sell some of your rodents as well?
Oh, absolutely not.
We don't produce enough to feed.
Not yet. So
we wouldn't anyway. I don't think.
I actually need to buy another breeding rack, because I'm close, but I still buy a little bit of rats.
Right.
But I mean, it's significantly less than it was.
You sooner or later you'll be fully sustainable on your own, not buying anything, and that's perfect. I get it. Besides buying the bedding and the food for the rats,
the supplies.
You know? Right.
Yeah. But that's still a lot cheaper. Like Paul,
that's a lot cheaper.
He's got 600. We're running right now. I'm about 130, 140 animals, and it still costs me $700 to $900 a month to just feed them, and that's just me biting rodents.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
So-
at work, I was spending that a week. Yeah.
So, well, and even when we buy rodents, like we don't feed them as soon as we buy them.
No.
We put them up and they get fed and watered and for a week before they actually get fed to the snakes.
So
Well,
you
shit.
kind of almost have a quarantine for your
Yeah.
rodents.
Well,
That's when you were buying the rats.
it's the gut loading thing too.
Yeah.
So they're getting better food. They're getting electrolytes and multivitamins
They're
in
not
their water.
sick when they get
Right.
fed to the
Right.
snakes. Like they're healthy. The ones that are gonna die off in that week. So you're feeding your snakes the healthiest that you can feed them,
That's pretty.
even when
cool.
you have to buy them.
That's pretty cool.
I think if anybody can take a tip out of this for
Yeah, I mean that's
that's
cool.
one
You
of the
must
best
have
ones.
like a really cool, like good setup, like for all that and everything with the rats and everything to do that
Yeah,
too. I mean, like at the time that you were buying them anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a decent setup. It's not fancy or anything like that. It's
It's
just
a rat room.
It's a shed
Mhm.
with a window unit and a fan in it.
Mhm.
Like it's very simple. It's nothing fancy. Like there's a lot better setups.
Mhm.
Like there's a lot better setups,
Works
But
for
it's
you.
working.
but it works.
It works.
Yeah.
It's what I have. It's what I've worked with. And until we build something bigger and better, that's what it is.
Right.
I'm your work ethic, the two of you together is second to none. And if nothing else, I got to commend you on everything you're doing. It sounds like you're very minimalist on
Mhm.
what you're doing, but you work with what you have in a very effective and efficient way. And
We try.
that's awesome. Hat off to you.
Thank you. We try.
Thank you guys for joining us.
Mhm.
We're actually over an hour. We're over an hour.
I want to say I know you guys don't really do the socials, but if you'd like to pimp them out here at all, I do think people should follow you. And
We have all of them.
Yeah.
yeah,
Tell them what they
So
are.
we've got Morph. So we're on Morph Market, Southern Star Reptiles on Morph Market.
We're not on Morph Market right now. There's
We
nothing
are.
there.
We're actually the store is still there.
The
There's
store's
just
there.
nothing in it.
It said you had 2 ball pythons, but when I clicked it, it was 0.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're on Instagram at Southern Star Rep, Facebook Southern Star Reptiles. All the things. There's a YouTube channel, but there's nothing on it either.
We'll be at St. Louis in a couple of weeks.
I think there's a
There
TikTok
you go.
on it.
Okay.
So if
Good.
anybody wants
Yeah,
to see
we'll be in
any
St.
snakes that we actually have, because they're not going to be on Morph Market, but they'll be at St. Louis.
They might be on Morph Market after St. Louis.
After St. Louis, we'll see some.
St. Louis.
But she says that. We'll see.
I'm gonna try.
Most
So-
Will
likely.
there be any shadow?
I don't know. I think we are, unless somebody calls us and really wants to get into it. I think we're kind of holding off. Like,
I might have a couple of adults.
yeah, I think we want to figure it out a little bit first before
Yeah.
we throw it back out there.
Okay.
But if somebody's really interested in it, like we're happy to talk to them.
Yeah.
And, like
Reach
we
out
do have some. We just don't have them out there.
So if anybody's interested in Shadow Project, reach out to them. Because you otherwise you might not find them because they definitely won't be on Morph Market.
No.
And if you see them at one of the shows and you have any questions about saltwater tanks,
we have
Jack.
questions about whatever. Like
Yeah.
we'll answer them. We'll try.
I mean, I grew up in the country, so if it's nature
if it's
stuff,
nature, hunting, fishing,
Yeah.
like if you
All
just
around.
want to talk about being in the country, like
So basically the traditional country song, hunting, fishing.
yep. Pickup truck.
when I was 18, I was a certified personal trainer too. So
All right.
Well, that
That
makes
was-
sense. That's why you have too much energy.
that was a lot of years ago.
We're old now. We feel it. Feel it all.
Old. Yeah.
I just texted that to Fat Man. I said I feel old. Doing the little promo videos before coming here and running out in the backyard. I'm like, I'm too old to do this shit. I want to thank you so much for coming on. You guys are amazing, and if anybody can take anything from this, it's put in the work. If you want to do this, that's great to have the thought behind it. But if you really want to do it, put in the work. And thank you very much for coming on the show.
Thanks.
Yep.
And
get used to the grind.
we're going to kick you guys to the back room if you want to stay around for a few minutes. We're going to talk for about 3 minutes, me and Polly, and we'll be back there in a minute.
Okay.
Thank you very much, guys.
All right.
Take care, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Snakes and the Batman proudly brings to you its new breeder segment, 15 Minutes of Lame.
So if everybody comes on here to watch just the ball python stuff, we talk for about 35 minutes on sharks and reef tanks, and I'm more excited about that than I was about the ball pythons.
But it's so fascinating. Like I said, like I get engulfed in YouTube on all that stuff more than the bull pythons now and stuff like that. So it's interesting to me. So like that's why I was just like, oh, what about this and what about this? Oh, that, yeah. So I've always wanted a saltwater tank or something. I mean, I had ponds and everything. I had like over a 4,000 gallon pond and I did all that stuff at my my old house and stuff. So fish is very at one point or another I will have a pond in my backyard. I just I want to build it and stuff like that. And it's just something that interests me.
Well, I have access to a very huge list of aquarium animals through my my contacts, and right now I'm thinking clownfish. So now I just have to figure out.
I would have never thought those things are little fuckers. Like I think they're like happy-go-lucky little fish that that would swim up to you and kiss you on your.
I'm literally after we leave this. After we leave this, to kill time until we go and watch my one.
Cheryl, nice for you to join us.
My one white friend, my one black friend is on. My one black friend, my one white friend is on at 9 o'clock tonight. Is it 9 o'clock or 10? 9 o'clock. So join in on that. And between now and then, after we get off this, I'm going to watch Finding Nemo because I want to watch that little bastard.
Yes.
We're not having any more lamest facts. Fatman's way too busy, and with the contest about to start. So
yes, the 16th, November.
16th. So everybody stay tuned for that. We're going to be posting more. He's going to be posting more, and we're going to probably have a little more content about the contest. So
yeah,
for everybody who came out, thank you very much.
Thanks for coming up and thanks for coming in.
We appreciate all of you. Even my my Python Prince, the stripper friend, came in at the end, but
just came right in. That's awesome.
But thanks a lot, everybody, for coming out, and we will see you next week. Peace out till then.
Take care. Love you, Jared.